Welcome to Opinions Like Ales, everybody, your favorite pop culture podcast where we have opinions and most of them stink. My name is Michael Zampino. With me, as always, is Hilton Price.
The Legos are taking over my house.
Oh.
Here's the deal. So I think I mentioned a week or two ago how Mom had gotten into Legos.
Yeah.
Which I think is great because Legos are...
You live with your mom?
I do. I
Awesome.
take my mom... We talked a little bit about on the show. She has early onset Alzheimer's. And
Jeff, don't talk yet. I'm just kidding.
Nice.
But
I just peed myself a little.
I'm just teasing.
the guests always talk a little bit.
Yeah, no, I was
That's how we're
totally
like, hey,
joking.
they're here.
Okay, so how many do you have now?
1,400. Okay, like 4. But it feels like a lot because like
Are they large sets?
they're getting larger because it's been, early onset Alzheimer's impacts not only memory but order of operations understanding. And so something with instructions has been profoundly helpful as a hobby for her, as a guide. But one of the things that we don't know is guys like us, we've probably all built Lego sets when we were younger, right? Yeah. And you don't realize how much you learn how that works. I mean, you just think putting these things together, you got a guide right there. It's easy peasy, right? It's really not. The perspective, understanding the pieces, being sure to count the little nubs so you got the right piece. There's a lot there.
Oh, yeah.
So for the first few sets, I really had to walk with her every step of the way. But as she gets the hang of it, of course, she's still she's starting to do them on her own, and she is going through them quick.
Does it hurt motor skills at all?
Alzheimer's?
Yeah.
It can later on. Luckily, we're not at that stage yet. And obviously, even just learning new skills and learning new things will be a challenge eventually. So we're really hoping that by building a lot of this stuff now, we'll prepare as the disease progresses later on. I don't know. I guess stay tuned. We'll find out,
That was a good movie.
It was.
Stay tuned.
I haven't seen it with John Ritter, right?
You've never seen Stay Tuned?
I've never
haven't
seen
seen it.
so many things.
No shit.
Yeah.
But by the way, everybody, that third voice you're hearing is of Jeff Thompson of the Straight Edge Lounge.
Yeah,
the
correct.
Straight Edge Lounge, the Sober Speakeasy.
I've also a stand-up comic, a comedy promoter. You've been involved in the scene for a while, and just
several hats.
many hats.
Several hats, yeah.
Just one head, but many hats. It's nice.
Well,
But yeah, no, it's the Alzheimer's thing has been a weird and scary challenge, but it's also created some unique opportunities.
Don't change the subject. I want to talk about Stay Tuned.
So John Ritter, a fantastic movie that does have.
Do you know the premise?
Yeah, he gets sucked into TV.
Yeah, but do you know anything beyond that? Why?
He is John Ritter.
yeah, I've not seen it either.
Okay, do you know?
He
Do
was
you know
John
that piece of it?
Yeah,
do you remember?
I remember the trailer.
Okay, do you remember anything else?
No.
Guys,
I confuse it with Cool World.
get ready.
In my
they're very different.
And Click.
Stay tuned. Yeah, it very much feels like a family movie, and it's kind of played as like a family movie.
And I guess WandaVision in a sense.
But
It's kind of
the play it's
John Ritter.
It's hell, and it's the devil is doing it, and
He's in hell, like Christian hell,
it's sort of like
Dante's
like
hell,
purgatory almost. Like
He's
gay
dead
hell?
the whole time
Like,
and doesn't know it.
he has to survive a certain amount of purgatory to get back to the real world.
Was John Ritter played by Bruce Willis?
No.
Okay.
No.
I see Three's Company.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking wild.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really weird comedy thrown in there amongst the gnarliness that is trying to escape the devil.
There is a Three's Company cameo where he shows up in the house.
Yeah, that's one of the nightmare scenarios. He pops up and he's in Three's Company set, and it's sort of like a fourth wall break where he just looks at the camera and starts screaming. Like,
Is he playing John Ritter in the
No.
thing? Okay, so it's more just like a wink.
Yeah,
a wink
that was like a little fourth wall break.
Got
yeah.
it.
Now there's a Janet and Chrissy in that scene because they pop in, and I remember this as like I do my own name. They scream, "Where have you been?" Mm-hmm. Is it the actual actresses that played Janet and Chrissy?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember if it was or not.
Let's pull up the Stay Tuned wiki. This is a great place to start.
Was Suzanne Summers and Joyce DeWitt.
Yes, Joyce DeWitt.
Nice
Good
pull.
Come
one.
on.
Good.
Yeah,
Nice
she was
pull.
like the Marianne. I always went for the Marianne types.
Same.
Agreed.
And
Yeah,
if
something.
The mousy brunette
Yep.
that is like supposedly goes under the radar is always like doing it for
the
me.
short dark hair.
Yes, 100%. You think that's a comic trait? You think that we're sort of is like underdog favoritism, or is it just weird
knows?
sexual fetishes?
Yeah, no, I think it was just I was
Because I was also more Jethro than Ellie Mae. I'll say that too.
yeah, ditto. Really, what I'm saying is the signs were always there. Is what I'm saying.
Exactly. Yes. You use a rope as a belt.
Signs everywhere. There's signs.
Blocking up the scenery, breaking my mind.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to think that he was saying "fucking up the scenery," and I was like, "Man, it is really wild that the radio doesn't fucking like of all the things it censors,
Right.
it leaves that one in."
Oh, Pam Dauber is in it from Mork and Mindy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so he plays Roy
Salt
Knable.
and pepper.
He's obsessed with TV, and his wife is about to leave him because of his obsession with TV. And Jeffrey Jones plays Johnny Spike, who is basically the devil's consigliere,
Okay.
soul wrangler, if you will.
I see.
And he brings him this giant satellite dish and offers him all these, channels, which of course he's like, yes, please. And then he and his wife get into a giant argument about it, at which point they are sucked into the satellite dish and into the hellscape of
TV. The
yeah, it's
hellscape of television.
Hell TV, I think.
Of 90s television. Of 80s and 90s
Yeah,
television.
so there's like a lot of
It was 92, so it was probably written in like 88.
yeah, so there was like a lot of plays off of existing properties, like Wayne's World was Dwayne's Underworld, and so there was a lot of
Oh, I
stuff
see
like
here we
that,
got
like a lot of parallels.
Three Men and Rosemary's Baby.
Yep,
Oh, that's
love
delightful.
it. Sadistic hidden videos.
That's just most hidden videos.
Yeah, pretty much. Except it was like somebody going up to an elderly woman and telling them like their husband died or something.
Speaking of 666, I got a call from the Troopers Association this morning. They keep trying to mask their number, and this one had the prefix 666. I should have known.
So is this like calling for donations?
Yeah, it's like, and it acts like it's a person. It's like hello, but it's a fucking recording.
Oh God.
So, but there's nothing more satisfying than hanging up on a cop or even someone pretending to be a cop.
Well, and
Now, if it was the devil calling me fundraising, that would get me to open my wallet.
leave it to law enforcement to covertly ask for help.
Right.
To essentially hide behind a billboard for their donations. Right.
Yeah, they're like, hey, 80% of our job is revenue generation, but we're just not quite pulling in enough. So
between corruption,
now we need to scam you.
Between corruption and legitimate seizure of cash, we still don't have enough money somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, yeah, dude, 5 minutes in, and it's already ridiculously old movie references and pushing back against the system. This is a hell of an episode.
This is an OLA classic. This is classic
a classic
OLA.
in the making.
Fuck
This is
you,
it.
you. I won't do what you tell me.
Yes.
Fuck your Yankee blue jeans.
Yeah. Also,
nice.
Yeah. Yankee blue jeans. Why is there not a blue jean company called
Yankee Blue Jeans. Yeah,
That would be a thing. We could start that shit.
My love for you is like a truck.
Yes.
or
Anyway.
or a music store called All Your Bass Are Belong to Us.
Yes. Exactly. Or really just what was the name of that damn game? Was that Enemy Zero? No. What is the All Your Base game?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
We're gonna Google it real quick.
Google it. Google it,
It
Hilton.
has a cool like
Google
alien
it.
sounding name. Zero Wing.
Zero Wing. That's what it is.
All your base are belong to
Wing.
us.
It's a good shooter, honestly.
That is a great use of the English language.
Yeah. That's what it was. Hey, dude, man, listen.
Dude, man.
Back during the video game console wars, we didn't have time for proper translation.
Hell no.
You were in the trenches with Sega.
Moving.
You were fighting the battering rams with Super Nintendo.
You were trying to keep up with making your version of whatever the other company had just put out.
Yep, you needed your Hyperstone heist to their Turtles in Time. Exactly. And
To
here's
Turtle
the deal.
Time.
There were already casualties. Who does not remember the Virtual Boy? Lives were lost during
totally
those
fine.
wars.
Which one?
Actually, I have one in my car. I'm going to bring in for you.
Oh, fair.
Virtual Boy? Thank God.
What was Virtual Boy?
You don't remember the Virtual Boy?
Uh-uh.
Oh, let's segue.
Was it a game or like a Game Boy thing? Was it a Game Boy add-on thing?
Kinda.
Okay, okay. What?
Yeah, the Virtual Boy was a 3D video game system produced by Nintendo in the mid-90s.
It looks so shitty.
You put it on a counter or a table, put your head into the device, and got only in black and red graphics a 3D effect.
What a piece of shit.
Now the 3D did work.
And somebody lost their completely jizzed over that back in the day.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Hilton.
I'm right here, guys.
Sorry, I can hear you.
No. I honestly didn't believe the hype for this back then. The black and red turned me off.
The first, that and obviously, and the fact that you have to sit stationary with your face halfway down on the table.
Yeah, and also, how do you know when you die if it's already red? It's like
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, the blood fills the screen, and you're just like, oh, stage 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Moving
Yeah.
on.
All the little characters that you can only tell the difference between by their color.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I don't know which double dragon boy I am.
Are you a blue Yoshi or a yellow Yoshi? I'm a red Yoshi. And the weird part was there's a couple of good games. This one here they're showing, this Wario World, was actually a really good action platformer. That
Remember
nobody ever
the
played.
double dragon boys? The only way you could tell them apart was their vest.
That's true. Yeah, yeah, and they're both red vests on the Virtual Boy. That's not true. They never made a Double Dragon game because there was, I believe, 27 games, and then it was discontinued. Yeah,
Yeah, they were like, this sucks. Sorry, guys.
yeah,
This is your 15 minutes, Virtual Boy.
yeah. You can read all about it in the Virtual Boy Works hardcover book for only $34.99.
Extra. Read all about it. Virtual Boy.
Yeah. Actually, I will say, if you do want to, I'll throw an early plug, a pick in here. Is Jeremy Parrish's Video Works series has got a bunch of great videos on the Virtual Boy on YouTube. So if anyone's curious, check those out. He is a learned person when it comes to video game history. But I am here to talk to you guys.
About?
I don't know. What are we talking about?
Hey, do you have the next show lined up?
So I have a show for me as a comic performing, Dirty Santa show on December 8th, but I do not have another Straight Edge Lounge pop-up scheduled until 2024.
Okay, well, we will...
For dry January, we'll do something.
Got it.
So
Perfect. Okay.
Tell
We'll
us-
get back to that.
Tell us about the Straight Ed Lounge concept and what's about for our listeners who aren't familiar.
Okay, so the genesis of it was a chef friend of mine in 2019 drank himself to death. And I've been sober for 21 years, and I used to fucking really party hard. And so what I thought was, man, these guys get off of a shift at 11 o'clock at night. They're fucking amped from like being busy all night long. So there's adrenaline flowing. And it seems like the only way to unwind is to go to the bar and pound shots. And so I thought, what if there was a place where you could like go and do yoga at 11 o'clock at night? Or what if you could just go somewhere and have the conviviality and kind of atmosphere of a bar without alcohol as a temptation? And then, you know, that was 2019. And then lo and behold, over the last couple of years, it seems like alcohol-free options are becoming more prevalent. You look at what they do over at Starlight Lounge. I mean, really big offering there of non-alcoholic options. And so the idea was to create a sober bar. And I had the good fortune of being involved with a organization called Builders and Backers, and they funded my first pop-up as a test to see if the concept was viable. So that's what we did in September. So we rented out Foolish Things, and we just kind of created an evening kind of experience. We had Fire on Babylon Yoga Studio come in and do a yoga class. We had local musician Mike Williams coming in and performing his solo stuff. A guy I'd known for quite a while as well. And and then we just made mocktails.
Friend of the show.
Yep.
Yeah, we just made
a couple years ago.
mocktails and stuff like that. And then the second one I did was Oktoberfest, and that was just last month. And I was able to not only book comedians, but fucking pay them. So that was really kind of cool.
Nice.
I was one of them. Can vouch. Was paid.
Yeah. And so that was like a big deal because it was really the first test of the true viability of it, where I didn't have somebody kind of underwriting it, and it was more like doing the whole thing on my own resources or
In your own way.
in my own way. Yeah. And that's the other thing was, I wanted the venue to be different. I wanted to see how this concept played in different places. So like the first place was Foolish Things, kind of spit shined and polished. The second place was this kind of DIY kind of downtown warehouse kind of feel where everything was still kind of crusty and had that kind of old time like rave, taking over a warehouse kind of
For
feel.
the listeners, it was Dustin Howard's Noise Town.
Noise Town,
Okay,
yeah,
great.
yeah. And Dustin and Mike were great about just not only getting the space ready, but really making sure that it was because it's a rehearsal studio primarily, and so they have a lot of expensive equipment in there, and so they took a gamble on somebody that was trying this kind of weird concept, but it ended up being a fit.
And
It's an easier gamble to...
there was no fear of some drunk guy stumbling onto the equipment.
That's what I was just about to say. It's a slightly easier gamble to make whenever you know there's not going to be a bunch of drunk people around your very expensive equipment.
Yeah. I was just listening to a bar owner last night bitching about how much he has to pay for liquor liability insurance to operate his bar.
Yeah.
And so between the Able Commission and shit like that, that's just a headache I'll never have once we find a brick and mortar. So that's very comforting. It's like,
Love that.
And while many bars do have non-alcoholic options, you're talking your venue will not have alcohol on the premises at all.
Not have alcohol on the premises at all. And, really it's the long-term goal is that it's a 24-hour-a-day operation, that it becomes an all-ages venue, a place where, if a teenager says, hey, we're going to go to Straight Edge Lounge tonight, mom's going to feel okay about that, because as a rule, the vibe is going to be, imagine like wholesomeness with a lot of fuck thrown in.
Yeah.
So but no
Wholesome
alcohol.
curses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so PG-13 vibes.
Yeah. But here's the deal. You're eliminating the risk of aggression or violence that can happen with alcohol for the kid might hear fuck a few times.
Exactly.
Fair trade.
Yeah, it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
Guess what? That kid hears it all day anyway.
Yeah, just
Sure does, exactly.
If they have Netflix or any of the streaming services, they've seen it all.
Or they go to high school.
They're buddies. Yeah,
exactly.
There was a time when you cursed because cursing was fun. I mean, it still is kind of fucking fun. But
I was just about to say I still cuss because it's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It is
Sometimes
fun.
the word fuck is literally the only word that fits.
and we've talked a little bit about we talk a lot about
And there's
sobriety.
the nuance of where like a not curse is funnier than a curse. Like like poop is funnier than shit in a lot of different situations.
True.
Yeah. Or fark.
Farquhar?
Yeah,
Frack.
like if you say like tonight, I'm gonna fark you.
I go with spork.
I mean, you're not gonna get laid, but they'll laugh.
Spork. I'm going to spork you.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
we start out spooning, but
Yes. I like it.
then you slip it in.
That's a boundaries issue, sir.
then you kind of slip it.
And we've talked about
With or without consent.
No, with.
Okay. With,
this
of
is my
course.
wife.
We're all okay. Yeah, there you go.
we've talked a little bit about
That's
sobriety.
my
on the
wife you're
show.
talking about.
I'm gonna fucking segue into my point now.
It's really not a segue. You're just trying to stay there.
I'm just trying to. Yes, I'm gonna.
Fighting Against Zampino is the name of the show.
Swim against the current. You can do it.
That could be a fun new show for the network. Fighting Against
Swimming
Zampino.
upstream.
Both of those. We're just expanding. We've talked a lot about sobriety and about the different kinds of sobriety. And one of the things that we hadn't touched on that I think is important is the idea of temptation and how one sober person responds to temptation is very different from others. And that's why a venue like this is so important.
Yeah.
Because non-alcoholic options at bars are great if you're comfortable enough with your sobriety that temptation isn't a concern for you to be in that kind of environment.
That's right.
Which especially as performers, as people promoting shows, as people who are out in the scene, we're lucky that seems to be the case most of the time for people like us. Not everyone can say that.
That's right. And
they deserve a place too.
Well,
Well,
and
we
peer
sort of had to get okay with that. Like, we just
That's true. That's
we were
because there
sort
wasn't a
of
space
forced,
like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We were sort of forced into you better get comfortable being around it or you're just not going to perform anymore.
Yeah, because
That's
all
how it was
it's-
for me.
That's where most of the venues are, absolutely. And as I want the audience to be kind of lubricated a little bit. So I
Yeah.
think like there's a big difference between a drinking crowd and a stoned crowd. Case in point, a rabbit hole. Like no matter how funny you are, they're going to be like laughing at the joke from 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, so but for me the other thing is like social, we used to talk about peer pressure a lot, and in my head I always imagined peer pressure as your friends being like, come on man, you can do it.
Yeah.
But peer pressure is this unspoken thing that's just about the desire to fit in. And so the whole experience of peer pressure can happen between your ears, where you're in the bar and everyone else is pounding shots and you feel left out, and so you're like, okay, just one. I just want to fit in. I just want to feel normal.
You're seeing how much fun they're having. You're
Exactly.
seeing them be silly and goofy and loud, and I
Yeah.
want that.
Exactly. And that's the nature of alcoholism is that you forget the pain that it caused you. And you can it's like when you have an ex-girlfriend and all of a sudden you see her out in public and you're like, she just looks pretty good right now. And then you forget all the reasons you left her,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like, and it's sometimes it's situational too. It's not that you're being forgetful or that's a flaw or anyway. It's just that when you're in the bar, you're seeing the benefits of alcohol. You're seeing the social lubrication, like you guys call it. And you're not seeing the headache. You're not seeing, sickness. You're not seeing addiction. And that's why that passive peer pressure is so powerful because
Yeah.
it paints a false narrative.
That's right.
And the venue that you're working to open is a place where people that can be honest about these things and not have to worry about them throwing it off their course.
Yeah. And, the goal is that it's not just a sober speakeasy, but it's also a wellness hub. So the idea that it would have like sliding scale counseling available, mental health counseling for people that want to be discreet about that and don't necessarily, like you might have the impetus at 10 o'clock at night, like, man, I really should see a therapist. And then by the time you go to sleep and wake up the next day and start looking through your phone to find a therapist, the impulse might have faded. But like, what if somebody
or you look at the pricing and
yeah, exactly. You're like, I don't have fucking insurance, so like, why would I spend $300 for my own well being? But yet, if there was something that you could pay like $20 while you're at the bar, and you could disappear quietly into a back room, get a little text on your phone when the therapist is ready to see you. So like this whole idea of being discreet, but also normalizing mental health, having destigmatizing it so people can talk about depression and anxiety and all those things that we know everybody's experiencing, but are still somewhat taboo.
Well, and that's you really hit the nail on the head with that somewhat taboo. I mean, mental health is a topic we also freely talk about on the podcast a lot, and in our lives as well. I find, especially, and I got into my mom's health a little bit, but just speaking to my own, living with her, I've gotten to share stories with her about my own struggles with mental health, because as a boomer who is just, and not to rage against all boomers, even when they deserve it, but that she's just a great example of someone who is not super plugged into her emotions and her mental health. So it's partially sharing with my mother my own struggles, and just as you should do with your mom, but also kind of educating her along the way about some of these things that are just alien concepts to her just because of when in time she was
exactly.
born and lived.
My great uncle, I had been tripping acid the night before, and I was taking him pants shopping, because when you're old, people have to take you shopping for pants. It's like becomes a thing you schedule your life around.
Oh yeah.
And so we're about to go into Carl's Jr. We're over there in Promenade
they
Mall.
don't sell pants there.
They don't. I know. We had to carb load before. You have to really.
Well, and it helps because the burgers at Dillard's suck.
100%.
Worst burgers.
Yeah. Ever since John A. Brown's closed, or Renberg's, you just can't get a good burger.
Can't get a solid burger. Yeah, it's a shame.
But he said, we were about to get out of the car, and he said, "You want to know the secret to being a man?"
Uh-oh.
And I was like, "Shit, yes." And I closed my door, and I'm like, all ready. And he goes, "The secret to being a man is you have a secret, and you never tell anyone, and you carry it to your grave." And I was like, my heart just sunk, because I was like, he just described that whole generation, like the greatest generation in most boomers I know, where they think silence is some form of honor
or strength.
Yeah, strength. Exactly.
No, yeah, I was just about to chime in and say, like, it's extra hard, especially as people are slowly getting more comfortable talking about mental health. In certain places, obviously we live in a very small swath of a pretty blue area of a very, very red state where the idea of machismo and male strength and masculinity and being too strong to show emotion is still very much pounded into the children of a lot of the people in this state are still like the rub some dirt on it mentality, the
walk it off.
Yeah, that mentality is very much taken with mental health as well, and it's really harmful. It's incredibly harmful.
Yeah.
And not to say that men like that are bad or not good men or not men to be around. They often are. They are sometimes still loving and caring members of society,
but they're not helping their children. I'll tell you that much.
Exactly.
But they don't have a model. They don't have a model for what healthy relationships look like. So
or healthy male expression of emotion.
And they're still so closed off from what they could be. So even if they're still a good father, a good husband, a good boss, they could be even better by opening that door, by getting in touch with some of these things that they've been taught shouldn't be, that aren't masculine.
Hey man, sometimes a puppy dog just make me cry because I'm happy.
That's right.
I'll give a great example. Just a couple days ago, I ran into someone in the wild, and I recognized them. It was a gentleman, a couple years older than me, maybe about 10 years older than me, we'll say. And I recognized them because they were the former boss of a coworker I used to have.
Okay.
And I was like, "Hey, aren't you? You're Diana's old boss, right?" And he made a joke that was very harsh about who they were, about the mutual person we knew, the person I'm calling Diana. And they were saying like, "Oh, it was kind of a, I was their boss, but they weren't a decent worker, And it was a dig. It was clearly a joke. And
Right.
I could tell, and I knew some history there, so I knew they liked our mutual friend.
Yeah.
They liked their former employee. And as we chatted for a bit, they were sharing stories of really some good memories and some disappointment in how that person left the company. But the whole thing was very prickly, and it was that kind of sarcastic humor that some guys are just real good at.
But
And
they have to get drunk, be able to finally be able to say, "I love you, man."
exactly. And I walked away thinking two things. One, how this was a good guy. He was a good boss to my friend. We had a good interaction that was pleasant, and I understood he was happy. He enjoyed seeing me again. He enjoyed talking about our mutual friend. But I got to tell you, as I sat there and thought about the conversation, 90% of what he said was a dig, was kind of a backhanded compliment, was sarcastic. It was a lot of negative language and energy for what was honestly a very positive conversation.
Right. It didn't. His vocabulary was so limited. It was almost like there's this keyboard with like 88 keys, and he's only has 8 of them available to him,
Yes.
and they're all the aggression ones.
Yes. And listen, I get it too. You know, getting in touch with my own emotions has been a lifelong thing. So
Yep.
I still understood his language, and I understood the love he had for his former employee. But to hear it, I walked away being like, man, this guy needs a hug.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's a big example of what we're dealing with here is, you know, we see a lot of people who are the good people, but they could be so much better.
100%. Yeah. Exactly.
For sure. You want to talk about some trailers?
I don't. I think really this is the mental health episode. I think we just get real serious here. No, let's talk about a land where the apes rule over mankind.
I love that.
Oh, it's a great segue from the aggression keyboard.
Yeah, it really was.
Right?
Yeah. I haven't seen there's 4. This will be the 4th of the new Planet of the Apes movies, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I haven't seen any of them except for the first one, but I loved the first one. That was with James Franco.
Yeah.
And obviously
And
Franco's
John Lithgow.
Exactly, yeah. And Franco's a flawed human, but that movie was a good flick. That was a good action flick. Did you
Yeah.
guys see any of the later ones?
Yep.
I've seen all of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it keeps going, good stuff.
I've liked them all.
Yeah, you know, the only thing that's hard for me is the predominance of CGI really takes me out of the story a lot because I get fixated on how well something's rendered. You know, I just can't. There's like a level of suspension of disbelief that I just can't get past with that much CGI in a movie.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, the narrative is interesting, the characters are compelling, and yeah, you get invested in what's happening for them, and I think that's part of it.
For sure. I've liked all of them. I'm super into this trailer. It looks really good.
Really set up a world where the apes were truly dominant. The humans were shown as primitives, running,
Yeah.
being hunted.
Yeah, and you touched on a scene where you see a human on the back of an ape climbing up a mountain, right? Something like that.
Yeah. Like the ape is carrying the woman up the mountain apparently.
So I think what it says to me is that the story is reaching the point where the apes realize, like, hey, we're just doing to them what they did to us
Yeah.
that made us rise up in the first
The
place.
cycle of abuse.
Yeah.
Exactly. And power and domination and, you know, all of those different things.
Well, and it's interesting too because it does a good job in the trailer of showing the different kind of sex or classes of ape. So you've got the intellectual class, you've got clearly the like politician ape, and then you've got soldier apes, and then you have like worker apes. So it's like they're already segmenting within themselves
The
which is
same way humans
which,
do.
exactly, which is the beginning of that whole me versus them mentality.
And you know, and I feel like that's a neat thing that you bring up too, because the movie is called Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and I wonder if that's also kind of saying not that there's a kingdom and they rule, but also it's a society. It's a complex organism of different roles.
Yeah.
It asks the question, is every iteration of any civilization doomed to just repeat the same
Go the
mistakes?
way of Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And spoilers, yes, right? Yeah.
I mean,
right.
it's
Yeah,
used that
100%.
fucking way.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Until
Late stage capitalism.
you know,
Ding, 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 ding.
until we're able to break ourselves for a couple thousand years of it and sort of break the evolution of that instinct, I guess. I don't know. Can we fix the evolution of the human instinct of power grabs and fucking.
If we get a whole bunch
greed
more
and-
Tyler Durdens, I
Yes.
think there's because that opening narrative where the narrator is talking about I have a dream, it sounded like when Tyler Durden is saying you're climbing the skyscraper on the wrist thick vines, and down on the street people are like laying venison into strips, wearing clothes that they made that are going to last a lifetime, and it's this sort of like contrast against society about like what if we went back to the days where you had to like make shit with your own hands and like fight to kill animals to survive, but like simple and primitive.
Yeah, and it hasn't been co-opted by a bunch of fucking libertarian douchebags.
Exactly. Yeah.
Man, they really made Fight Club not fun, didn't they?
They really did.
gosh.
They really didn't get it. They really didn't get it.
Yeah, these were the same Chads that were fucking trying to go into mosh pits. You know,
Yeah,
they took this thing that was really cool in punk rock and they started doing it at Korn shows. And it was like, come on, man.
Yep. They're the reason Nazi Punk's Fuck Off was written.
Exactly. Speaking of that,
God,
that's gonna be my pick. I'll save it.
Okay,
cool.
right
my
on.
pick.
Yeah, I'm going to throw out a controversial statement. The only good thing Korn ever did was the version of Blind at Woodstock 99, and that's it.
We've heard it a million times.
That's it.
Hilton.
That's
we
it.
know that
It's
that's
the,
your.
it's the only good thing.
We
It's the
know
only-
that's your take
Okay,
on
there's
Korn.
one good Chili Pepper song, and it's Warped. That's the other one. That's the other one.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad Chili Pepper songs.
There's so many, and they're all about California.
There's so many more. Yeah, until we stop Chili Peppers being funded by Big California,
Oh yeah.
they're just not going to get any better.
Yeah.
I think naming your band after the one matter existing that can make it all the way through your digestive system intact.
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
that says a lot about where their heads are at.
They were a
that's
lot
true.
more fun when they
I'm
were
lost.
just.
Though. Are we talking about Korn or the
silly-
Chili Peppers?
Oh yeah, true. Crazy.
Oh wow!
yeah.
Oh,
Also,
any vegetable adjacent bands now we're going to start finding the flaws with.
in fact, I
Can
have a new
you
complaint.
get a full piece of it in your shit?
I have a new complaint. Fuck you, Anthony Kiedis, for keeping us away from a Needles solo movie for Flea.
True.
That's it.
yeah.
I would have taken that Back to the Future spin-off any day. But no, instead, what? Blood Sugar Sex Magic?
Speaking of Flea,
Kiss the Girl ain't that
He
good.
just did Hot
Or
Ones.
Breaking the Girl. Never mind. Kiss the Girl someone else.
Do you watch that?
Oh, he did Hot Ones.
It was good.
I haven't
That's
seen
what
that
I was
one.
thinking about. That's what I
he
was
just
thinking
did
about.
that.
I loved him in Kenobi.
Oh, I didn't know
yeah.
he was in that.
Part in
Yeah,
Kenobi,
yeah. Unable to chase a 7-year-old girl. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I loved him in Big Lebowski.
Oh gosh.
He was in that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the nihilists.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, Needles.
Lingonberry pancakes.
definitely want to see
You know who
Kingdom
the
of the
woman
Planet of
was?
the
that-
Apes.
You know who the woman was that gave up her toe, right?
No.
Yeah, it was Till Tuesday, the artist who did all of the Magnolia soundtrack, Amy Mann.
Oh, wow. That was Amy
It was
Mann?
fucking Amy Mann that gave
Wow,
up her
okay.
toe. My girlfriend gave up her toe.
Oh,
Yeah,
She's the one that. She's the
I
one
was like,
that's-
well, I thought it was Tara Reid, but she was
like,
the.
nobody
she
lost a
didn't.
toe in
She didn't
Obi-Wan.
lose
Yeah,
a toe.
her toe stayed intact.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
it was a ruse.
Red herring, if you will.
That's
Yeah.
not her toe,
A
dude.
head raring.
Anyway, we also watched the trailer for the Scott Pilgrim anime.
Yeah. So we talked about it when it was first announced that the voice cast from the movie was coming back to do an animated version. And I don't know if we read it wrong or I read it wrong or just misunderstood, but I thought we were getting a movie. We were
Right.
just getting Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the movie.
Right.
We're getting a series called Scott Pilgrim Takes Off that looks like it's going to have stuff from the movie. Like we saw the scene
Yeah.
of Scott and Ramona at the party, but I also saw other stuff too that
Yeah.
was not from the movie.
I can't remember. On Netflix, does a series drop entirely all at once still? Because like almost every other streaming service has gone to the weekly releases, but I feel like on Netflix they still drop the whole series at once.
It doesn't specify. I mean, I think they still
Wednesday-
drop it all.
Wednesday was week to week.
Was it?
I'm almost positive.
There's a leaked Gideon clip down there. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off leaked Gideon clip.
Oh, okay. Is it not clicking? That's great.
Hilton's computer broke.
Yep. Broke the computer. Oh, well. We'll try and find it here in a minute.
Classic.
The cast sounds great. Everybody we heard.
It's impossible for me to hear Kieran Culkin's voice now and not think of his character in Succession, though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's such a brilliant.
Was he good in that?
Have you haven't
He's
seen
very
it?
I haven't
good.
seen it yet. No.
I haven't finished it, but
Yeah.
He's the most. It's like a Greek level complex, tragic character. It's just so,
everyone
so
in
many
that show
layers.
is horrible.
Yeah, it really is.
There's no redeemable characters.
Yeah, watching who's the young kid that gets starts off the first episode. He's playing like an amusement park character. He's the uncle of he's like an adjacent nephew.
Yeah.
But he worms his way into the inner circle.
I can't remember the actor's
Greg.
name. Oh yeah, Greg, cousin Greg.
Greg.
They make fun of him a lot on Seth Meyers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the clip we're seeing here has got Matthew Patel talking to Gideon Graves. It looks like, and we didn't see in the movie or the books. We never saw any of the evil exes talking to each other. I remember that distinctly. So we're definitely getting some more context here.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you're going to do a series, you gotta stretch
gotta
out,
flesh
give
it
more,
out, yeah.
more content.
So
I admit I've not seen any of the original source material. Have you guys? Are you guys familiar with the zine?
I've seen the movie.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie. That's it.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
it.
the movie.
yeah, read the series as they were coming out. Actually, was a huge fan. And then wasn't into the movie for a bit, just because it's not super great representation of the book. But I came to love it on its own because it's a neat, fun movie.
Yeah.
I think Edgar Wright did a hell of a job with it. The cast is great.
I do like Edgar Wright.
I do too. Agreed. And I like what he does with actors I don't love. Like I'm not a Michael Cera guy, but I thought he's great in that.
Yeah, same.
So
I do like Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
agreed. Yeah.
She's fantastic.
Yeah. Aubrey Plaza, of course, is great. Mae
yeah.
Whitman's great.
There's a good cast.
it's an amazing
Schwartzman's in
cast.
it.
Yep. And
Allison Pill is I love her, man.
Anna Kendrick.
yeah.
Anna Kendrick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really it's one of those casts that just
It keeps going.
yeah. We haven't even mentioned Captain Freaking America's in the damn thing.
Oh,
Chris
yeah,
Evans,
Brie
you know?
Larson, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hell,
Brie Larson, yeah,
Brie Larson, yeah, Captain Marvel,
two
yeah.
Avengers
Oh,
are in
yeah.
Two
the
captains.
Yep. And
two captains.
hell yeah, we got Superman in there. Brandon Ruth.
Holy
man,
shit.
It's been a minute, but he was Superman. you
He
know?
was.
You want to talk about a crossover? That's your Marvel DC right there.
He was he was bullet bouncing off the eye Superman.
Have
Yes,
I ever?
yeah.
Have I ever told the story about
And
my
like the
theater?
one scene where he fights bad guys.
My theater experience with that Superman.
Was it that you walked out of the theater? I was like, that was kind of lame.
No, it was that.
Wrong. Sorry.
It was that there was a family behind me that the two young children didn't speak English, and through no fault of their own, obviously.
Yeah. No,
But that movie,
I mean, they could have tried.
they were probably like 4 to 6.
Oh yeah,
maybe
they could have tried.
So they have zero attention span for the sort of like the scene building stuff, especially if they're not understanding the
and it's
language.
not even in their language. Yeah.
So every single second, and again, this is not the fault of these
No.
children.
Yeah.
But every second that Superman is not on screen, all I hear behind me is, Papa, ¿dónde es Superman? ¿Dónde es Superman? ¿Dónde es Superman? Papa, ¿dónde es Superman?
Sounds like an adorable child. Not gonna lie.
It was, but also made it very hard to enjoy the movie.
Yeah, I
He's
can see that.
somewhere else, kid. He's somewhere else.
I'm like, we're Lex Luthor is doing an exposition dump.
Listen, kid. Lex Luthor está aquí. That's all I can tell you right now.
I felt so bad both for myself and for those poor kids because it's boring as fuck
that
for
had to
them
be
for
the
90%. And the Superman, shockingly, not a lot of screen time in that film.
Oh no, it's like 7 minutes. It's like Darth Maul era.
So
Yes.
the other 82 minutes, it's Donde is Superman.
Exposition.
Yeah. And Donde is Superman.
And why is the meteor gonna make real estate anyone would want to buy? I still don't understand that. But
Solid question.
So many questions about that movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
Yeah. It's not a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a
Even
shame.
without interruption.
I've heard we did get some better Brandon Ruth when he was the guest appearance on the TV, the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths, because he played like an older
Oh, really? Okay.
Superman.
He was funny in Zack and Mary Make a Porno.
No, never mind. I'm thinking of Tom
He
Welling.
was hilarious in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Was he? I don't remember him in that. Oh.
Yeah,
At the family reunion or the high school reunion, he's there. He's the guy that she was into, and then it turns out he was gay.
Oh man, I gotta watch that again.
It's a pretty good movie.
I'll see that with new
Is
eyes.
it Justin Long that was the
Yeah.
Then he's Bobby Long.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, Justin Long's character, and that's very funny.
All right, I need to watch that again.
Justin Long's fucking great, man.
He's good.
He's so good.
I told you I watched Idiocracy recently. He's the doctor in
Yep.
that. That's a great scene.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
I've seen it, but it's been a long time. I need to rewatch it.
I
Did you watch
finally watched
Barbarian
it.
yet?
Is that the horror movie with him?
Yeah.
I ain't fucking watching that. I ain't gonna watch no horror movie.
You don't watch horror
I
movies?
want to make
Nah,
you.
they-
Have you seen it?
They make
No.
me scared.
Fucking watch. Do you like
Really?
horror movies?
Yes.
Barbarian's one of the best ones I've seen in a long time.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the best horror movies I've seen. In a
I read the
long time.
wiki. It
Did you
sounds
see
awful.
Did you see the Pope's Exorcist?
Not yet.
It's interesting. It's,
Is it?
it's worth seeing.
They did it on How Did This Get Made already.
Oh, nice.
That showed up in our horror on Reddit recently under the list of like what movie did you go in, and it was very different than what you were expecting.
Most of their conversation was about Russell Crowe's Italian accent.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. That's the most laughable part of the whole movie.
That was my takeaway from reading the comments. Was
Which
that,
is like he just continued
It's a me,
for when he was
of
Zeus.
Russell Crowe.
He's like, oh well, I'm doing this. I might as well do Zeus as well. He's Greek and Italian, very similar.
not really though.
Not really.
Not so much, Russell.
For Russell, same
Yeah,
accent.
exactly. Same. 6-1.
good for him though. Good for him for trying.
Yeah, he gave it a whirl.
Other movies that were on that list, Dreamcatcher was one that a lot of people complained about that wasn't what they were expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one that I almost sent you the comment, but I don't think you're on Reddit, was Skinamarink. A lot of people said that it was very boring for most of the film.
Really?
That it was like a 10-minute film in an hour and a half.
That sucks. The trailer was spooky.
Yeah, the trailer was spooky.
Trailer
We
was
watched
very
that.
spooky.
Yeah. We'll do the horror trailers here, but that's as scary as I get.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
And sometimes I'll watch him and explain it to Hilton.
yeah. I'll read the wiki later.
Yeah.
I go through periods where I resist watching horror, and then I go through periods where I like let myself.
Just suck it in.
Yeah, because there's there's a whole kind of id situation with that yeah. But so sometimes I go through periods in my life where it's like I won't watch horror, and it just kind of depends where my head's at.
True. I will throw a plug into a previous episode if you want to hear us talk more about horror movies and hear the few that I would recommend. Last week's episode with Brett and Hannah's got all that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
True.
We talked about a few.
Where do
that
you
I
come
like.
down on Cabin in the Woods?
Oh, dig it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a win.
Cabin in the Woods was fucking
Brilliant.
great.
That
Fucking
has
brilliant.
that's the thing is a little bit of jump scares and some gruesome is fine.
Yeah.
The original Evil Dead is one I didn't mention
Yeah.
last week. That's another good one.
Did you ever see Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
No, but I hear I should.
You should.
That's got
Yeah,
Alan
yeah.
Tudyk
You
in it, doesn't it?
absolutely, yeah. You absolutely should watch that one.
That's kind of on the short list.
it's
for stuff to watch.
genuinely hilarious.
I
It's
never
so
don't
funny.
love him in something.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
Tudyk,
he's
yeah.
one of those guys where, like, if you just need somebody knocking out of the park, Two Dicks is going to do it.
Yes, he will. Yeah, yeah. Really, you need.
And he's got two dicks. I mean,
What a skill.
He made K2SO my favorite robot in the entire Star Wars universe in like very, very short work.
I say that too, but I say that having not watched Ahsoka to see David Tennant's turn as a droid.
Yeah, not compelling.
Okay. And I've actually
suck
seen
it, Tenet.
I've seen Tennant in that role. He did it on Clone Wars a while back, but I don't remember the episodes very well. So.
I feel like they should have called that show Sabine.
Oh yeah, was she
Yeah.
really okay? Interesting.
She has the most interesting arc of
Okay.
the whole thing, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but at the same time, Disney's decision making isn't always on the plot. It's more about the marketing.
Oh,
you know?
100%. Like, what action figure is going to go well with this?
Yeah. Well, and if you poll 1,000 Star Wars fans, more will know Ahsoka than Sabine.
That's
I'd say,
absolutely true.
You know.
Can't wait to get the
Yeah, I don't know
Echo
Sabine.
action figure. Speaking of Disney, the Echo action figure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was perfect segue.
That trailer looked good.
Perfect segue.
Really
You're
good.
hired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We watched trailer for Echo, the new Marvel MCU series coming out in January.
So before I actually knew this was happening, I read a thing today because I didn't. You had sent me the trailer, and then just coincidentally, I saw a thing that said that this is going to be like the most gnarly and gritty series they've done. Like,
It's
You
the
know,
first one with a mature rating.
Do you
Yeah.
know that there was a period like last year, almost exactly a year ago, where Kevin Feige had decided he didn't like what he was seeing from the dailies of Echo, and he scrapped it.
Yeah.
So maybe this is like the rewritten like they brought in somebody else to do a different treatment on it.
Yeah, I believe it. We saw right off the bat with bringing back what's the actor's name that plays Wilson Fisk?
D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio, yeah.
A brutality from him that we haven't seen since the Netflix Daredevil show.
It's so weird that he's as he goes backwards in time in terms of flashbacks, he looks more and more like the comic book Kingpin.
Yeah.
Like they finally leaned into that, which I think is good.
Yeah.
And D'Onofrio is just underappreciated as far as his gifting. He's such a good actor.
Have you seen him in Salton Sea?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's unbelievable.
Really?
I mean, the Cell, underrated
That's
movie.
another one I see a
He's
lot
so
of.
Terrifying.
he's so unbelievably
He's fucking
good.
terrifying in that.
Fucking Adventures in Babysitting.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah, he's
Yeah. Oh,
Men in Black. Men in Black.
Oh God,
Sugar water.
out of water with sugar in it.
and wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Is he not Thor in Adventures in Babysitting?
No, he is a mechanic who the little girl thinks looks like Thor.
That counts. MCU. That counts.
For sure.
Yeah.
He was a Thor. But it's really interesting the way he plays Kingpin because his tone and delivery a lot of the time seems very like almost monotone. But he's bringing so much to that character, like the level of humanity that they brought to him in the Daredevil series.
Yeah, 100%.
And a lot of that is just being delivered by D'Onofrio's acting. Like you're able to buy it. Like I buy him as Kingpin 100%.
Every time.
There is that show, and I've actually still not seen season 3 on that, but the first 2 seasons on the Daredevil show are some of the best street level superhero television out there, hands down.
Yeah, the pacing of that first season is so perfect. He doesn't even end up in the real suit until the last episode. I mean, brilliant.
Yeah. But I will say, I know he returns to kind of a simplified suit in season 3, and season 3 introduces a Bullseye-esque character that is very different from the traditional comics Bullseye. And because of some of those changes they made, I'm in an interesting position where I am actually very happy with. I'm fine with Marvel leaving that aside and saying that didn't happen. Here's our Daredevil.
Right.
But to see them also doing a return to some of the very serious, dark, consequence-laden storytelling that show had is not only a boon for the MCU, but helps me be okay with that decision.
Yeah,
and
Because we're losing a lot by losing the Netflix Daredevil. We're
For
losing
sure.
a lot of great character and a lot of great storytelling.
100%.
Well, and they did the same style of storytelling with the Punisher too.
Yes. Yep.
You know.
Yep. That whole universe.
Yeah.
You know, even the Jessica Jones stuff.
Luke Cage to
Yep.
a certain extent.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't really dig Luke Cage.
I didn't either.
watch the Iron Fist at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Same. I didn't see one episode of it.
I got halfway through the first season of Luke Cage, pretty much the Cottonmouth arc. And same deal. I love is it Mike Colton? Is that his name?
The actor?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I
thought he was good. The guy that
I
played
think
Luke
he's
Cage.
great. I love
but
a lot of the
everything
other-
around him is not good.
I did love Cottonmouth, the guy who's playing Blade, whose name also escapes me. Sorry, guess I didn't prep for this episode. But the acting was great, but same deal. There was elements about it that I was happy to leave behind. You know, I'm like, Luke Cage was maybe 85%.
Wait, Blade makes an appearance in Luke Cage?
No, same actor.
No, yeah,
Same
the act,
actor.
yeah,
Got
yeah,
it. Okay.
carryover actor.
Wesley Snipes?
Yep, that's him. He really needs money. Now, I don't know a ton about Echo, the character.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you?
Outside of Hawkeye, I was introduced to her in Hawkeye.
Mahershala
Same.
Ali. That's the new Blade actor. Mahershala Ali. He plays Cottonmouth in Luke Cage.
Oh, that's right.
That's what
I forgot.
It's one of those situations where the same actor got plugged for 2 different corners of the universe. Echo was introduced in Hawkeye a little bit, like you said. Her powers in the comics. She's a Daredevil character.
That's
in the
what I was
comics.
going to say. So, from the comics, tell me a little bit about the character.
She was introduced in Daredevil. Her power in the comics, which will not be true in the series, her power in the comics is she's very much like comic book Taskmaster, in that if she sees something, she can do it. So if she watches a concert level pianist play, she can then play concert level piano herself. And that's true of anything. Same with fighting, same with skills with a weapon or a tool, etc. We're told that her power will be different in the TV show because the director thinks it's, quote, lame. So, which, hey, to each his own, I guess. But the one thing I did see for sure is we see her bust through a wall in one scene of the trailer. So obviously I feel like we're dealing with a strength or invulnerability situation here.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't know that I got any really clear look into what
and
it
also
was.
the mimic thing seems very Taskmaster-esque, so maybe they wanted to move away from that.
Why not? Yeah. And it can be, I mean, it's very solve any problem-y, like it can be hard to,
Like the ending of Secret Invasion.
That's the other thing too. On the heels of Secret Invasion, which felt so sparse to me, this felt packed. Every scene,
same.
every bit of this trailer looked so busy and active and alive.
But it felt packed with story.
Yes.
Like compelling story. Like really, I don't give a fuck who else is in it. Those two characters are interesting enough to me, and their relationship is interesting enough, and their
I
arc.
want that story.
He's like, yeah, exactly. I don't care who else is in it.
Yep.
I'm on board.
Yup.
And I got to tell you, I didn't walk away from Hawkeye wanting to know more about Echo.
Same.
Could have cared less.
Same.
This changed me.
I will say it wasn't that I couldn't care less. I did enjoy that character.
Okay, yes.
And I thought that character was very
She
compelling.
was fine, yeah.
Yeah. And I thought it was compelling. I thought the story was very compelling.
The story about her father and his
Yeah,
involvement with Kingpin.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I like,
Agreed.
but I also at the same time.
I didn't feel I needed more.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And Hawkeye was good. That was so far has been one of my favorite MCU shows.
sure.
Yeah, I rewatched it recently. It is good.
Good. But yeah, this trailer very much has me. And I feel like it's the kind of trailer we need in Marvel right now. We need something that will kind of make people sit up and pay attention.
Yeah, because I'm a little checked out,
Yeah.
like on the Marvel stuff. I haven't been bothered to watch Ant-Man. I haven't been bothered to watch the new Loki. Like,
New Loki's getting me.
New Loki is great.
it's just I haven't.
Maybe not great. Good.
With the other stuff out there.
Yeah.
It's falling by the wayside as far as what I want to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not finding myself. It's more of like, oh, I need to watch that to be caught up. Not like I want to watch it.
It kind of feels like this Echo is the MCU's Andor.
Yes.
Like edgier, more narrative driven, more dense, like from a story standpoint.
Yeah. I don't feel like I'm getting the whole like suddenly making lesser characters important that Andor did.
Right.
But it's definitely instead I'm getting more D'Onofrio, which is great, and I'm getting very compelling from what we're seeing of Alaqua Cox in that.
Yeah.
Which I think is the real clincher for me. Really, that scene in the opening there with Fisk's bloodied hand after he beats up the hot dog cart guy or whatever. That to me, I feel like is going to be the scene that's going to make so many of these fanboys that have been complaining about, mid CU or whatever, is going to make them sit up and pay attention.
Yeah.
Which I don't have a problem with 99% of what Marvel has done over the last 3 years. I was very much on board for most of Phase 4. What I do acknowledge is it can't just be for me. You got to make sure you're getting as many people as you can. So we need something like this. We need something to get those gritty Daredevil Netflix fans back on board.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm on it. Let's do it. Let's watch it.
do
When does it come out?
January.
Oh, that's right. That's
10th
right.
or something. 17th.
It's the Scott Pilgrim one that comes out in like
November.
2 weeks.
That's
November
November
17th.
17th. Yep.
Yeah.
We're getting Planet of the Apes on Memorial Day, and then January 10th for Echo.
Does anybody else always forget which one is at the beginning of summer and which one is at the end between Labor Day and Memorial Day?
Yes.
No, because my birthday falls on Memorial Day sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So it's impossible for me to forget.
Is Memorial Day the first one? Or
It's in May.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my birthday's May 30th. So every once in a while, my birthday will fall on a
May
Monday, and it'll be
Memorial.
Memorial Day.
That's what gets
Both
me.
with
There you
M's.
go.
It's the M's.
M,
And
Memorial
until
Day.
we have a Leptember.
I just picked that up.
Labor Day won't throw
Did you
me
know
off.
that U.S. spelled us? I
What?
just picked that up. I
What?
just caught that. Did you
Wow.
realize?
Wow, no, obviously, Zampino, please, come on. Everyone knows Donald Trump is the first person to realize that.
He's the first person that ever caught
It
that.
was him. He realized that a week ago. Before that, okay, real quick.
He's shown us so much.
Oscar, like Oscar the Grouch. I'm the first person to make that connection.
I saw Ani DeFranco in Oklahoma City 1 month after 9/11, and she said at that concert that everything the only thing that mattered was us, U.S., us.
So it was DeFranco.
Ani DeFranco said it 20 some odd years before Donald Trump. You guys,
She's always
caught
been
it
ahead of her
first.
time.
she has been. Yeah.
Man.
Also,
The lesbian Dave Matthews.
yeah,
Well, which is redundant.
yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Dave Matthews does have a Joy Stewart haircut, doesn't he?
He does, man. Did you see him as the skinhead in, was it Zohan or something?
Dave Matthews
He plays a white supremacist in this. I can't remember, but he fucking nails
Don't Fuck
it.
with the Zohan or whatever that movie was
Yes,
called.
yeah. Don't mess with the Zohan.
Oh, is that what it was?
I think that was it.
Remember that time that they dropped a bunch of dookie on people?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Was
I
it their
always
bus
bring
or
that
their
up.
plane?
What the
Was
fuck
it the bus?
is this?
Okay, that might be it right there with the hat with the.
This one here?
Yeah.
That's wild. I never realized how generic white guy Dave Matthews looked.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. I mean, seriously, throw a pair of big frame sunglasses on him and he could tell me how it is in the front of his truck.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he'll tell you all about how they're trying to turn all the kids gay.
Huh. He also kind of looks like a malformed Jeremy Piven. All right.
This is great value, Jeremy Piven.
I'm just being mean.
Shane.
To who? Jeremy Piven?
Yeah, that's okay. Never mind. Jeremy Piven. There was a time Jeremy Piven was bald and proud. Fuck him.
You know what?
10 years.
I just read the headline of this, and I agree.
I do too.
I completely agree.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
The headline is Freddie Mercury thought Somebody to Love was better than Bohemian Rhapsody.
1,000% yes.
Yeah,
Oh, and also the song "Somebody to Love" is good.
that's true.
That's,
that's
real good,
also
real good.
true.
Also, that's
that's
also
also
true.
true.
That's also true of most of Queen's catalog is better than Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah,
Bohemian Rhapsody is a catchy, fun song.
it is really fun, but Queen has a lot of really good songs.
If you want to listen to, if you're in your car driving alone, do you want to hear Bohemian Rhapsody?
I mean, yeah,
Oh yeah,
I do more than I want to hear like this thing called Love.
Crazy little thing.
I don't want to hear him doing Elvis.
That's a great song too.
I hate that song.
I remember when I found out that
I
was
hate
a
it.
Queen
What about
song.
Bicycle?
I was like, "What the fuck?"
I love Bicycle.
I'd rather hear Bicycle.
I don't not want to hear Bohemian Rhapsody though. Like
No, but
saying
I'd
that
rather
there's-
hear almost any other Queen song.
Okay.
I just say Bohemian Rhapsody is right now. If Bohemian Rhapsody came on, the three of us would have fucking fun.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia.
You don't do that shit in your car though?
I mean, but it's more fun with y'all.
That's fair. That's fair, but
Yeah.
I can have fun by myself.
All by myself.
All by myself.
You know, I went.
No
I
one
did a
was
deep dive.
looking.
I did a deep dive
Thinking of
on
you.
Scaramouche.
I had an erection.
I was like really interested in some what all is he referencing in that song Bohemian Rhapsody.
Mm-hmm.
So Scaramouche, can you do the fandango? So I looked it up, and Scaramouche was this. There's a play, and the character Scaramouche was absolutely Trump. It was the idea of this like dumb everyman who becomes iconic in the
Wow.
culture. And so it was interesting because I read it right around the time he was in his ascendant.
I would hesitate to call Trump an everyman, but
I'm sure he doesn't even know how to do
Well,
the
yeah.
fandango.
Yeah, I'm
absolutely
sure.
not.
Yeah, but it doesn't
He would
even
probably
have the app.
he'd probably inflate his wealth to try to buy Fandango.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Bow.
Oh. Whoop.
It sounded like the
Nailed it.
soundboard farted.
Nailed it.
I'm good at this, you guys. I forgot that I turned
great.
it down earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, we're fucking killing it here at OLA.
It's 7 years, man. We need a break. We deserve.
I'm so tired.
We're allowed to
I'm
stumble.
so tired.
Very
Yeah.
Almost 300 episodes.
What's
I'm
the-
so tired.
Isn't it? There's a thing you're supposed to do with married people where like every anniversary is a different type of gift, like a wood gift.
Oh,
or
yeah.
some silver. I don't know what this is.
This was I don't know, leave each other the fuck alone for 2
Let's
weeks.
see,
gift?
what
Like,
is-
what gift could we do now?
What is the? I'm gonna look. Let's see. What
I hope it's not wood. I
is
do not want your wood.
gift
I brought cannabis. That's my gift to you guys.
That's
Seven.
we don't have any of that.
But you also never don't need more.
That's true. It's 100% true.
Copper and wool.
Oh God, wool.
Yeah,
Copper-
so
what
get
a-
out there and
what a-
strip some copper
Get me
for me.
Go get me a rustic cuff bracelet.
What an itchy
Stat.
anniversary.
I just come in with some SOS pads. That's the wrong kind of wool. Remember SOS pads?
Yeah, steel wool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got some at home.
They were like, here, fuck up your pans real good.
With the weird sort of soap amalgam in the middle.
I don't know what it
It's
was.
sort of like the freshen up gum
it
of
was
cleaning
like
products.
soap jizz. So weird.
Yeah, you got to get it wet first. Oh, it's just
that's what she said.
I get so.
That's what she said.
I get so grossed out thinking about SOS pads.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you. It's also the sound of metal on metal scraping. It's just there's just so much that's wrong with it.
Yeah, man. When I was a kid, I would I would do things that would also drive me nuts, but because it drove someone else nuts, I would be able to tolerate it. Like the fork scraping against a plate.
Yes.
Drove my cousin insane.
Yeah.
And so I would do it all the time.
Nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah,
type
it
stuff.
sucks to hear. I hate it too.
Yes.
It sucks for my ears, but it was real funny when she would get super mad.
Yeah, that's
Sorry, Leisha.
that's like a Misery Loves Company adjacent kind of thing, but
I
it's
didn't
much more
have-
sadistic.
Yeah, I didn't have a sibling to torture, so every few months we would have family dinners where I would get to torture a cousin.
I was the torture E in my sibling relationship.
Were you the baby?
I was the baby
Hmm.
until one day I fucking blacked her eye, and it's all it
It's
took.
all over.
It's all over.
See? Got it. She had it coming.
She did have it coming. She had it coming.
She had it coming.
Yeah, man. Take it back.
That's fun. I've been listening to Chicago too, so I got
Have
that
you?
shit on my brain. Yeah.
The band?
No. Should have been gone. No, I
That
don't
is
know.
not Chicago.
It's
That
also
is
a shitty
Journey.
That's Journey.
They're all the fucking same.
That's actually Steve Perry.
They're both Boston.
It's not even Journey.
I have never been more angry than I am
They're
right
both Boston.
What did you, wait? What did you say?
He said that Journey
Journey
and
was
Chicago were 6 to 1. First of all, it's 45 or 6 to 4.
Yeah.
yeah, 25 or 6 to 4 to
25 or
1.
6 to 4 to 1.
They're Boston.
Anyway,
More than a feeling.
they're not Boston. Boston and Journey are closer together than Chicago and Journey.
they are all
100%.
very different. They're all very different. Very, very different. What the fuck are we talking about?
Chicago also was like 7 different bands throughout their category. Like they were like, and we're a different style now.
Yeah, they're like
And
the-
also, going from Chicago to Boston is a journey.
Yes.
Into
Oh,
Mind
wrap it up.
blown.
Show's over.
we did a hell of a job today. Good work. Good work. Proud of you both.
Let's hit the showers.
Yeah, right.
Pick some plugs.
Should we? Let's do it.
Let's do it because I got a big one. I got a big
shit.
one. I'm having fun, man. Super Mario Brothers Wonder is out for the Switch, and dude, I'm 9 years old again, man. It is fun. It
Yeah.
is creative. There's a sense of mystery and wonder.
Hence the name.
Yeah, it's right fucking there in the title.
It's on the nose.
I picked it up last week. I mentioned it on the show, and yeah, I brought it over here for you to try a little bit before the show.
I got a little taste of the heroin, got a little taste of the goods.
yeah,
And
Nintendo still got it, man.
love it. I was hooked immediately.
And like we laughed a little bit about me picking this as a pick because I mean it's. Is there
So
anybody
obvious.
you know if you want this? You know if it's not for you. You know, Brett was talking last week how she's not super into platformers. Friend of the show, Ryan. Oh no, rechristened enemy of the show,
That's
Ryan
right.
Green.
That's right.
Not a fan of platformers.
of Mario specifically.
Yeah, I know. Really, it's a wonder we ever called him friend. But now.
What an idiot.
So I get it. If that's not your thing, it's not for you. But if you have ever enjoyed 2D platforming, 2D action games,
If it's not your thing, you're allowed to be wrong.
yeah, that's fine. Go
right.
on, live your life, make your
The
mistakes.
world's full of stupid people.
Live
Yeah.
your false.
Yeah. The But if you are,
Get it?
Truth.
go
you.
get this.
Thank you.
It's fun. It's a good time, and I'm having a blast with it. And while you're on the Switch eShop, pick up the Sega Aegis Fantasy Zone, because Fantasy Zone is the greatest arcade game of all time. I'm convinced.
And plugs.
November 10th, we are back for the Starlight Comedy Night. So freaking thrilled to have Tulsa's greatest show, rocking and rolling at our favorite bar once again. We've got a hell of a lineup. We are welcoming Ira Whitesell to the Starlight stage for the very first time on November 10th. And then we are welcoming back two of our favorites, Ashlyn Benson and Tracy Jr. are going to be on there rocking things out with us. You know how Laura Cook and I do it, bringing some of the best comics from the area and beyond to the Starlight month after month after month. And proud to be back on the second Friday after doing a little third Friday moonlighting in October. So come out and see us November 10th.
There you go.
An interesting other tidbit about that show is it's one show that's never booked me.
Oh, well, it sounds like we still have fantastic talent
It's the
coming
only
up
one.
down the road. So, yeah.
Jeff, what do you got?
Pick
Yeah.
the movie Green Room. The Green Room.
Ooh, it's a good one.
Okay.
Patrick Stewart as a neo-Nazi.
Not the first time it's been picked on this show.
This one,
Yeah,
about
really.
the
Yep.
kids at the punk show.
That's
Yep,
crazy.
Yep,
The
yep,
kids
yep.
at- yeah, Anton-
I can't remember who else picked
Anton
it.
It was
Yelchin.
semi-recent too.
Yeah.
This has got to be a must-watch.
It's
It
good.
100% is. 100%. Here's the thing. It's a little bit
The
like
kid
a
that died
Razorhead.
was in it, right?
Yeah, Anton Yelchin.
Anton Yelchin.
Yep.
The interesting thing about this movie, it's part of this repertoire of this writer-director named Jeremy something Saulnier. He also has a movie called Blue Ruin.
That movie.
So it's like a
Was
color
it
theme.
Dustin that brought it up? It might have been Dustin Howard even that brought it up.
Interesting.
Blue Ruin's amazing.
Yeah, he and I talked about Green Room that fairly recently.
Could have been.
That what's interesting about that movie is it's so good, but it's so hard to watch.
It
I
is
don't know
very
that I'll
hard,
ever. I don't
yeah.
know that I'll ever see it a second time.
I've only seen it once.
Yeah, it's
But
that
it's so
that
good.
horrific.
I have rewatched Blue Ruin though.
Yeah, it's so good.
Blue Ruin is amazing.
There's something that he does with subtlety and like kind of like the David Mamet real world way of people talking kind of
Yeah.
thing. That he's brilliant.
The absolute reality that I felt while watching Blue Ruin.
Yes.
I mean,
I felt like I was so invested because it's like, this is a real person that I know in my life. Like I'm watching somebody I care about
yes,
go
and
through all of this.
and I wanted him to succeed.
Oh my God, me too. Interesting side.
You should watch Blue Ruin.
Okay, yeah, no, I
Blue
haven't seen
Ruin
that
and Green
either.
Room, yeah. It's interesting tangential related, only in my head, to both of these movies. The guy that turned me on to both of those films also turned me on to the movie The Lobster.
Oh, with
Oh,
Colin
sure,
Farrell.
yeah.
Yeah, and this was back in the day when I still was comfortable downloading, pirating shit. And and I pirated a copy that was in French,
Oh no, bummer.
not knowing that it wasn't a French movie.
Layar.
So then I had to download the dubbed English like sound file to play along with it,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
would
And
they
it
would
wouldn't
never
sync.
they wouldn't sync up.
Layar.
So the next day I go to
Yar.
work and I'm like, he goes, "Did you enjoy it?" And I'm like, "Well, I only got about halfway through it." And he goes,
Kinda.
"Why?" And I'm like, "Well, because I was having the French subtitles. I couldn't keep up with the French." He goes, "It's not in French." I had just downloaded a French version.
Love
of
it.
But you didn't know any better because
So
he wasn't
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
as weird as the Lobster
amazing.
movie is, it's even
even
weirder,
weirder
in
in
French.
French.
Yeah.
It's Le Crustacéon.
Lessons were learned. Plugs.
So yeah, December 8th, I'm on the Dirty Santa show.
Nice. Where's that at?
That's going to be at Go Comedy in
Oh, yeah,
Broken
yeah,
Arrow.
yeah.
That's a great little venue.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, Gene Barber's doing phenomenal stuff, I think, for the scene. He's a great dude.
Yeah, I need to get on the radar over there.
Yeah. I'll make sure you are. And the interesting thing about that show is I looked at all the other comics that are booked. They're all fat comics.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like way less fat than the last time Roscoe
Yeah.
saw me. So I think it'll be interesting for me to show up as skinny Dirty Santa.
Yeah.
Well, not skinny yet, but on the
Well,
way.
yeah.
Or Dirty Santa.
For those of you that are listening at home, I've lost 156 pounds in
And
the
you can
last
hear
year
it.
and a half.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so much.
Eating nothing but
amazing.
kale, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just kale.
Delicious, delicious
kale
kale.
and blueberry cereal, but only when it's a limited time only available.
Finally, someone taking the Blueberry Challenge. Not enough people are accepting the fourth and
Cowards.
most important of the monster cereals.
You know why
Cowards.
they can't deal with the iridescent poop that comes with it?
You know, guys, it won't hurt you, and it makes it easier to see the bowl next time.
Exactly.
Yep. It's a little green.
A lot of people
It's a
don't
little
talk
bit
about
green.
that.
Yeah.
A little bit green.
People are afraid to talk about that.
December 8th, go theater. Go see
theater.
Justin. Go see Justin be one of the thinner Santas. Are you going to dress?
Jeff or Justin?
What the fuck?
Is Justin here too?
No.
Justin?
What the fuck?
That was good.
I like that I'm putting off Justin energy, though.
I'm losing my mind.
I
is
feel
what's
good
happening.
about that.
Just in time to see Jeff at Go Theater.
Boom. There it is.
Nice.
Are you going to dress as Santa?
You know,
You
it's
should
funny.
do like classy Santa.
I've done Surfer Santa 2 years in a row at shops at Mother Road Market, and I have like Santa shorts, and then I have a Hawaiian shirt with Santa surfing on it.
Okay.
And then I wear a visor that just says S Nick on it on the top, and then it's got Guy Fieri hair coming out the top. Like
so it kind of
white-
says Snick.
Snick. It does say Snick with a little dot after the S. Yes. So
I used to get pumped for that.
and then I wear the idol from the Brady Bunch episode, the cursed idol from the Hawaii episode.
Yes. A
Greg-
very important
That's a-
two-parter.
Greg
That's a
Brady
deep
signed that
pull.
at the Outsider's house for me. I have a
What?
signed
Nice.
copy of
The
that
real
idol.
one?
Well, yeah, he carries them with him. It's like a prop that he sells. but he also,
And he's got a Tulsa tie, too.
That's
He's
hilarious.
married to a Tulsan, I believe.
yes, yeah, so weird.
Barry Williams, yeah.
Yeah, hotter
The
than
one
he
from the
deserves.
surreal world?
The one from the Surreal Life.
That's what I mean?
Yeah.
That girl?
Wait, I thought that was Peter Brady,
Oh, that was.
Oh,
was that
you're
Peter?
right. Yeah, that was Peter Brady.
who also has a hot wife.
Yeah.
Was that Peter?
Peter was on Surreal Life. Yeah,
Okay.
with the model.
That's right.
Adrian something.
That's right. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think they're
of.
together anymore, actually.
Oh, I would be
Yeah.
shocked if they were.
Which, we get it, Pete. You were never going to keep her.
Yeah, good
Oh,
for you,
absolutely.
Yeah. Good try, though. Good try. Hell of a try.
though. Oh, god damn it.
What about you? Picks and or plugs?
I'm going to pick
Are ya?
food because I have
It's so
not eaten.
fucking good. It's
I have
so
not eaten
good.
today, and I'm fucking starving.
Dude, hungry in the last quarter of a podcast. I feel you. I've been there.
I'm so hungry that I'm losing my mind.
I was a minute late because I had to stop to get this. I hadn't had coffee. I made the mistake of buying some a Black Rifle concentrate to make my iced coffee at home.
Yeah.
It tasted like an ashtray. A pumpkin spice ashtray.
No plugs for me this week except for just listen to all the shows on OLA Ministries. Picks. If you want a music pick, I've been digging back into the old Handsome Boy modeling school.
Nice.
Yeah, that stuff's really good. I picked Lovage a few weeks back. Nathaniel Merriweather being the carryover. Yeah. Handsome Boy Modeling School is really fun. And then for a TV pick, we just finished Gen V,
Oh, cool.
which is the new spinoff from The Boys.
Oh, sweet.
And it is great.
I'm gonna actually pick your brain about one. I'm gonna push off food a few minutes. You recently
No, I need to not think about food. So
you are partially through a comic book series.
Yes, I didn't get to finish it before today, but I am also halfway through Peacemaker Tries Hard, the comic book series.
And that was written following the Peacemaker show, and it
Correct.
reads very similar.
Oh, absolutely. Every single thing I read from Peacemaker, my brain does it in Cena's voice. Yeah. So it's very much.
Who knew Cena was going to be such a fucking gem for our world?
He's so great.
Right? Yeah.
I mean,
He's so great.
Yeah.
this guy's got more layers.
And I was a big wrestling fan, and I
Than a
was
layered
I was
thing.
still a wrestling fan when he first dropped in WWF. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, WWE.
Oh yeah.
And I could not stand him.
Yeah.
I hated him. His character was trash.
He felt very generic dude to me when he
Well,
showed up.
they tried to make him the white guy trying to be black character.
Oh, yeah,
that
that
Vince
one. Yeah,
McMahon
that's
is
right
fucking
about that.
obsessed with.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vince McMahon's been trying to do that since Akeem the African Dream.
He is incredibly racist. Vince McMahon.
Super fucking
Yeah,
racist.
horrible person.
And yeah, it's real dumb. Yeah.
Also,
real dumb
shave his head.
character.
He could cosplay Kingpin, Vince McMahon. Shave his head. He
Yeah.
could cosplay. He's got that build.
Yeah, but I don't want him to.
I don't want him to either.
Because I like Marvel characters more than I.
Yeah,
do
I don't want to hate him.
Vince McMahon. Vince McVaughn.
McMahon. Vince McVaughn.
Called him Vince McVaughn.
That's hilarious.
Can we agree?
Irish
that,
Vince Vaughn.
Can we agree that female Hawkeye should not have made it out of that store alive? That was the one area where I felt like, man, her level of experience fighting Kingpin, I just don't think she should have survived even one punch from him.
Yeah. They should have written that a little sharper. But is she a tumbler? Fine. She knew how to lean out of the hit.
Yeah, that's true. She is
Yeah,
very
parkour.
cat-like reflexes.
Yeah,
Parkour.
So
hardcore parkour.
That's my one thing I will say. Phase 4 got into a lot of sloppy resolutions. The biggest offender to me was Wakanda Forever with Shuri getting just stabbed straight through and still fighting.
Spoiler
the battle.
alert.
She wins.
I haven't seen it.
Okay. Spoilers, good guys win.
Oh, all right. Cool.
I mean, actually, you know what? That's not even entirely true.
Yeah, otherwise,
Go
they
see the
would have had
movie.
to call it Wakanda for a short period of time.
Wakanda
for
sometimes.
15 more days.
Wakanda sometimes. It's almost as good as Charlotte sometimes. The Cure song.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like Charlotte's Web spinoff.
Nope.
Because the spider.
I knew where you were going.
Thank you.
I'm wearing black eyeliner.
I was going to
inside.
say your music knowledge runs pretty deep, like mine.
I saw another.
Speaking of which, what was your when I said Nazi punks fuck off? You said
That's what reminded me of Green Room, because they go to a fucking skinhead show and they play Nazi punks fuck off.
Yeah.
And it was the boldest fucking move in the world, and that's not what ends up getting them slaughtered. But,
Nope.
But it was just such a fucking punk rock thing. to
yeah,
do.
that was rad. And if you are listening and you don't know what that is, Nazi punks fuck off is
It's just the correct thing to do.
and also a good Dead Kennedy song.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, Jeff Thompson.
You got locked into it, didn't you? That happened to me at work.
Did it?
The wrong name thing?
Yeah.
So we got 2 new employees at work, and I'm going to call them Bob and Sam. And Bob showed up a few weeks earlier, and then Sam showed up. And for the first 6 weeks, I kept calling Sam Bob.
Oh man.
And the worst part is I knew who he was.
Yeah.
But he'd walk up to me, and my brain would go, "Ha ha, fuck you," and it would sub in the other
I know
name.
that's Jeff.
The
Yeah.
weirdest thing
I
about
don't know
that.
who Justin is.
The weirdest
haven't had
thing
him on the
about
show.
that is that it's the most human thing to do, because everybody does it.
Exactly.
And yet I feel more shame about forgetting someone's name.
Yep.
I forgot someone's name last night at a party, and I felt like the worst human being on the planet. I felt like I just killed a kid, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
Man,
it's-
yeah, I do. I feel like I kicked a puppy.
You do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's okay. It's
Do
okay.
we even know a Justin?
Yes.
Who?
I don't know.
We were talking about Justin Long earlier.
That's the one. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it
and
is.
I'm putting off strong Justin vibes right now.
Did you
I
say
really
you did
know.
or didn't see Barbarian yet?
I have not seen
Okay.
Barbarian.
Watch that shit.
The band leader from your former band.
Oh yeah, I have a really good friend named Justin. See, I need food.
Yeah.
This is just
All right, let's go get food.
all right. See you later, everybody.
Take it from me. I love you.